Okay, Kev, delighted to be joined by you once again on these Zoom calls. They're becoming a regular occurrence now.
Can't beat them.
Can't beat them. let's, Kev, let's rewind your mind back 18 years ago, I suppose, getting ready for the World Cup, having qualified with the Republic of Ireland. And let's kind of start from, Kev, when you first arrived. In all honesty, what were the training pitches and the kit like? What was it like? Was it an absolute shambles?
We talk about when we first arrived. We'd had probably a week, maybe certainly 4 or 5 days together. We'd met for Niall Quinn's testimonial up at Sunderland first of all. Then we'd flown into Dublin to play the friendly against Nigeria before flying out to Saipan. Everybody knows the training pitch was substandard. It was awful. The pitch was terrible that we were training on. It was, but I mean, the simple fact was, I think we were all told in our mindset. It was certainly in mindset was we were going to Saipan to do a little bit of training, but more than anything, we were going to try to put down tools a little bit for 3 or 4 days or a week or so before we went back into Japan, before the serious stuff started. And I mean, the weather was ridiculously hot. It was. The humidity was very, very high. And when we got there, yeah, of course, the training kit hadn't arrived. That was the thing that immediately came to us. So we had to train in our own gear, or the gear that we were given from the kit man prior to leaving Dublin, and that was it. Which, in all honesty, I mean, Leon, I'm probably not one to go moaning about things. I didn't give a crap. It didn't bother me. I just literally got on with it because we literally went out and had a run. We travelled for round about 20 hours, I think it was, because we had to fly to Tokyo first of all. Sorry, no, we flew to Amsterdam first of all. We changed in Amsterdam, flew to Tokyo, changed in Tokyo, then flew to Saipan. So there was a lot of travelling, a lot of waiting around airports. And when we did arrive in Saipan, everyone was, as you can well imagine, as anyone would be, we were knackered. So we just wanted to down tools a little bit, really. So the kit hadn't arrived, which was the major problem, though, which caused major problems, as everybody would know. But we went out, we had a run around the training field. The pitch hadn't been watered, so the pitch was bone hard, cracks all over the pitch, holes all over the pitch. It was the facilities weren't great. No, it wasn't. And I think compared to certainly what we'd been training what we've been used to back in Dublin, what we've been used to certainly in our own training grounds, it wasn't great at all, no.
So obviously, that was going to start a few dissenting voices within the camp. And
I don't think it did, honest to God, Liam, honestly. I think everyone knew. I think in my head, I knew the drill. I knew that, look, we were going there for a bit of a rest and train hard, or as hard as we could. And I think that was the mindset of everybody. Nearly everybody.
Okay, nearly everybody. So the captain, who had, I think, played in all bar one of the qualifying games. I think there was 14. All bar two.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
he played.
He missed it. Yeah, he missed the playoff game as well.
Okay. Well, he did. And looking at it, when you think about the rumblings with him and Mick, was it a huge, the meeting and then the following day to say, right, he's gone? What were the emotions like being a player in that camp?
It was emotional. It was. I had a lot of respect for Roy at the time as a player and as a person. I got on well with him. I did. And I'm not just saying that, I did. I think everybody at the time knew the significance of what was happening in that room when we just finished dinner. It was incredibly uncomfortable. I believe that conversations had been had behind closed doors, and obviously an interview had been done back in Dublin. It was different times. We weren't getting access to the internet, so you couldn't see what was being said. There was a fax that had come over from the interview that had been done back in Dublin, and it was all second-hand information, I suppose, as well. It was getting back, which in fact makes it worse, doesn't it? It did make it worse. And as I said before, I believe these conversations had been had in private between Mick and Roy. And it just came to a head then when Mick felt as though that he had to address this interview that Roy had done back in Dublin or back in Ireland in front of the team. And that was, that just had awful. It had an awful effect on the team. It was an horrendous 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it was during the argument. And once it had settled down, it wasn't great to be around. The furore around it, or the mess around it, really, once we'd arrived back in Japan from Saipan, because it was a mess from there, really, yeah.